When your life changes but your wardrobe doesn't, you can feel lost in your closet. But today, we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna show you exactly how to build a wardrobe that works for your life right now. Getting dressed should be a fun part of your day where you get to play in your own wardrobe, especially when everything can feel so uncertain. That's exactly why I created this wardrobe reset. No overwhelm, no endless shopping lists, just 5 strategic steps that will carry you through whatever transition you're going through and beyond. And stick around because I'm sharing the exact pieces that I'd choose for each step. And before we jump into the steps, comment what your biggest wardrobe struggle is down below. Step 1, choose your color story. If you've seen a few of my style videos in the past, you might notice that a lot of times this is the first step that I give. And that's because of a few reasons. I think creating a color palette is a foundational step in creating a cohesive wardrobe. Brands do this all the time where they drop a collection and it all follows the same color story. Brands like Cezanne do this really well. You're in the store and you see a collection and everything is in a similar color story. You know that those pieces can be mixed and matched and you're more likely to buy more pieces because the store is telling you that this group of pieces goes together. The same goes for within your wardrobe. If you have a cohesive color palette within your wardrobe, you have a built-in system that makes sure that most, if not all, of your pieces go together. The other reason that color palettes are important for wardrobe reset, it creates constraints which can guide what you're bringing into your wardrobe. So in the fashion industry, there's literally endless possibilities, and so that can feel overwhelming. And creating the constraints of the color palette can just narrow down your search just a little tiny bit. So my advice when choosing a color palette is to start with a couple of colors, 1, 2, maybe even 3 colors that you know you love to wear. And then I would take those colors and do some research. I would look up different color palettes online. I like to use Pinterest. For example, if I really love the color green, more specifically olive green, then I would search in Pinterest color palettes with olive green and see what comes up and see which color palettes speak to me and see which color palettes include the other colors that I like and start with that as my kind of ideal and then use that as a base. I will say I would include at least 1 neutral color in your color palette, but it's not necessary. That's just my personal style, is to have at least 1 neutral. I know with a lot of capsule wardrobes, people tend to only have neutrals. I am not one of those people. I feel like you can find a color palette that's kind of weird and wacky that fits your personal style. And as long as you like the colors in your wardrobe together, then it's going to feel just as versatile as if your wardrobe was full of neutrals. And you can build on your color palette over time. Maybe it starts with 4 or 5 colors to start with, and as you build on this wardrobe, you discover colors that you feel like can fit in very cohesively with the colors you already have, and maybe you add a few more colors to your overall color palette. So this is my color palette, and basically what I did to create my color palette was I looked at pieces in my wardrobe. I had a lot of different colors. I probably had every color of the rainbow in my wardrobe. And I was able to look at the colors that felt really easy for me to style, worked well with the other colors in my wardrobe, and that I enjoyed wearing. And I kind of put those all in a color palette. And then I kind of examined sort of the outliers. You know, I have a lot of mustard, I have a lot of blue, I have a lot of olive. So those felt like easy colors that fit into my color palette perfectly. And then I had a couple of outliers. Like I had this vibrant purple skirt that felt impossible for me to style. I never knew what to style with it. And looking at the color alongside all the other colors in my color palette, it didn't feel like it fit. So that's when I knew that color needed to leave my wardrobe, so I ended up removing that piece. So now going forward, now that I have this color palette, I always have that in mind when I'm shopping. It's been really great at allowing me to have an analytical take when it comes to my purchases. It's not such an emotional experience where I think something's so beautiful and I love it and I need it in my wardrobe. I can be like, okay, I love this, it's beautiful, but does it fit within my style? And so it's actually helped me not only make my wardrobe feel more cohesive, but also allowed me to think more critically about what I'm bringing in. Step 2 is discover your workhorse pieces. And I don't want to say wardrobe essentials here because to me, the words wardrobe essentials come to mind like the crisp white shirt and the classic blazer. And I think pieces like that are not what we're talking about here. This is your personal workhorse pieces that you wear all the time, and they're going to be very unique to you. That doesn't mean you won't want a crisp white shirt or the classic blazer, but it's not a set list that works for everyone. Step 2 is about choosing your MVP pieces that do a lot of the heavy lifting in your wardrobe. They're not boring, they are the backbone. They are what you're creating your outfit formulas from. They are the pieces that are like your security blanket in your wardrobe. They are the pieces that make you feel confident. So these are probably the most important part of your wardrobe. Versatility is key with these pieces. And because your wardrobe is already cohesive in the color story, you can focus on versatility within the silhouette, the fabric, and the functionality. And we also need to get really specific in this category. There is so much clothing out there that specificity is really important here, especially with these pieces that are going to be the backbone of your wardrobe. So here's my list of workhorse pieces. The first is a chunky sweater. And this is how specific I want you guys to be with your pieces. The chunky sweater has to have a crew neck. I would prefer it to be 100% cotton, but the real thing is it cannot be itchy in any way. I'm very sensitive skin, and so I don't want any itchy fabric materials. I would prefer it to be a cropped, boxy fit with the sleeves being a bit long, and I would like it to have some sort of like cable detail or texture or marl so that it can be worn not only by itself with jeans and more simple outfits, but also be styled in a more interesting outfit with maybe other colors. The color would have to fall in one of my color stories, and that's how specific it needs to be. And so those are the details that I would keep in mind if I was looking to add a chunky sweater into my wardrobe. And why I would add a chunky sweater is because these take me from fall until it is too hot to wear sweaters in spring. I am a sweater girly, and so I will wear them throughout fall and winter just with jeans or different trousers. I also love wearing them layered over dresses and skirts. So it's a piece that gets a lot of wear in my wardrobe over multiple seasons. So next it would be a graphic tee, and I know a lot of people would be sitting here saying a plain white tee is their go-to, but for me, I am reaching for a graphic tee 9 times out of 10. I do have a white tee, 2 actually, that I occasionally will wear to layer underneath stuff, but again, I also have just like white graphic tees that I'll also layer. So I'm going with graphic tees here because in general, I wear them more and I get more wear out of them. And when it comes to tees, I think it's really important to get really, really specific because everybody is making a t-shirt. And there's so many variations. You can really find exactly what works for you in this specific silhouette because there's just so many options. For me specifically, I look for very high crew necks. I want the sleeves to be a bit longer. They don't have to be super long, but I prefer a longer sleeves. I want the body to feel loose. I like a shorter tee so I can easily tuck it in. And I love a weird graphic, so that is part of the search is if I'm looking for a t-shirt and I'm looking for specifically a graphic tee, I need the graphic to speak to me. And so that's another piece. It's like looking at a graphic tee and deciding whether or not that itself falls in with my personal style. For example, I really love a band tee or merch from a musician, but I don't love a tee that has a logo on it. That's not really my vibe. That's just to show you guys the difference about even within the graphic itself, how specific you can get. Next is a jumpsuit, specifically the big butt press jumpsuit. The reason I love the jumpsuit specifically is because it sort of feels like my go-to dressy item. I can't tell you how many parties I have worn this jumpsuit to or concerts. It's like that sort of dressier feeling, but it still feels like me. This piece is my security blanket when I'm going to do something that maybe I feel a bit out of place. I throw this jumpsuit on and I feel a bit better and a bit more in control because I feel like it's a piece that looks good on me and I feel good in. Next are pleated trousers. And I told my friend this, that pleated trousers were like a go-to for me, and she was a bit flabbergasted, which I think is really funny because it just shows how personal style is, because she told me she would never have thought to wear trousers like day to day, and that's one of my go-to styles of pant for every day. I haven't been reaching for jeans as much. It just shows you how different personal style is from person to person, which I absolutely love. Back to trousers. These are big bed press trousers, and they are some of my favorite pieces because they make me feel put together. They are extremely comfortable. I love the details on them, and I have a few pairs and they all work really well with my color palette in my wardrobe. And these are a pair of pants that I feel like I can wear 3/4 of the year. The only time I don't wear them is in summertime. And even then I feel like I could probably get away with that because they're a lightweight pant. I feel like if I had to pick one piece out of all these Workhorse pieces that I felt like defined my style, it would be this pant style specifically in any of the colors that I have them in. I just feel like me when I'm wearing them, and so they are definitely a workhorse in my wardrobe. If I'm not sure about something, I'll always style them with these pleated trousers to see if I feel like they could work. Next, I have a printed midi skirt, and the midi skirt is my preferred proportion over maxi or mini because I think it's the most versatile within my wardrobe. And a skirt is something that I feel like I can wear year round. I picked a printed midi skirt because I have one that fits really specifically into my color story. There are so many colors in the print that are in my color palette, and so it's easy for me to pair so many different tops and top combinations with this midi skirt, and it still feels like cohesive within my wardrobe. So if you are thinking about adding a printed item, then I would definitely look closely at the print. Even if there's a tiny amount of one color being used, then just making sure that the print either includes multiple colors from your color palette or the main color is part of your color palette with little accents maybe, then that could be something that you could add to your wardrobe and it would work cohesively with the other pieces in your closet. Finally, I want to talk about shoes. I have a pair of Bluntstones, and again, when it comes to shoes and all the other clothes in your wardrobe, you want a versatile piece. So why I chose these Chelsea boots is they work with my trousers, my jeans, my dresses, my skirts, basically any bottom or dress that I like and want to wear, these boots work with. And so those are the pieces that are going to be the backbone to your wardrobe. So if you're making your own workhorse list, think about how specific I was being with all my pieces. Think about design details, silhouette, proportion, fabric. These are all things that should be narrowing down your search for each piece that you feel like you can add to your workhorse list. Make sure you choose pieces that reflect your personal style. Just because I mentioned something here doesn't mean it's an essential for you. You need to take a step back and look at what you wear and you want and what makes you feel comfortable and choose pieces that reflect that. I will say quality over quantity is so important here because focusing on getting fewer quality pieces, I think, does more in your wardrobe than having a huge quantity of pieces. I know for me in the past, I've been looking for something very specific and I'll buy 2 or 3 versions of that thing, and then I'll kind of latch onto my favorite and just wear that one and then get rid of the other 2. So that's something I want to help you guys avoid spending this extra money by being very specific and only bringing in the things that are absolutely perfect for you. And then also, in terms of quality, having a quality piece will allow you to keep it in your wardrobe for longer. If you do have this piece that you fall in love with, you don't have to worry about it sort of breaking down as quickly with wear and time if you have a higher quality piece. And it allows you to be able to maintain and repair your favorite pieces when they're already high quality. And that's not to say that you need to spend a lot of money on your clothes. I found so many of my favorite workhorse pieces that are high quality at the thrift store. So it's just about educating yourself on what quality looks like so you can find it out in the world and know it when you see it. Step 3 is identify and fill the gaps. Step 3 is where you can expand on your workhorse pieces in a strategic way. So finding out what I'm missing in my wardrobe strategically for me means when I'm putting together an outfit, I might have an inkling that I would prefer something specific that I could add to an outfit that I feel like would make it feel more like me. Because we're closing in on the end of summer, I'm able to look back at the entire summer season and strategically think about what I felt like I was missing in that season. For example, I recently did a video where I created summer outfits based on some of my favorite fall outfits, and I found that one of the things that I loved about my fall outfits were the warm, saturated tones, and I don't have as many warm, saturated tones in my summer wardrobe. And that is something that feels really connected to my personal style. That's something that I feel like is a gap in my wardrobe. However, I'm not just going to go out and buy a bunch of warm, saturated pieces. I need to think more critically about the fabric, the proportion, silhouette of those pieces, and how they're going to fit in to my summer wardrobe. So going deeper into the gaps in my summer wardrobe, another place that I feel like there's a gap is a short sleeve top that is not a t-shirt or a like short sleeve camp shirt button down, because I just don't have any other tops besides camp shirts, long sleeve like linen shirts like this, and graphic tees for summer in terms of just tops. And I found it difficult to create outfits that feel different from each other when I only have 2 or 3 styles of top to choose from. Now, I have a color that I would like. I have a specific piece that I would like to add, which is a top. And then I want to get specific about the details of that short sleeve top. So I already spoke about I want it to be short sleeves. I would prefer it to be a shorter proportion, something maybe not too cropped, but something that would be easily tucked in. I would like it to be in 100% cotton because that's a breathable fabric that could work well for me in the summertime. And in terms of the details, otherwise, I would prefer it to be not a V-neck because I find V-necks difficult to style at this time in my personal style journey. So either a crew jewel neckline or something that has like a scoop with like a tie of some sort, and that's sort of the neckline that I'd be looking for. And then even in terms of the sleeve, I would like it to be more of a full sleeve, not fitted at all, maybe even like a balloon sleeve of some sort, some flutter sleeve type of thing. So here I'm pinpointing specific details, fabrics, colors that I would like a specific piece in to fill a gap. And that really allows you to narrow down your search, and you can really find the perfect piece to fill that gap. And so when you do add it to your wardrobe, it really makes a big difference and you're able to get more versatility with the pieces you already have. All those outfit formulas that I have worn with my camp shirts and graphic tees, I can also try with this new blouse that I've just added, and it's gonna like triple the amount of outfits that I can make with just one top because it's adding a different aesthetic than the graphic tee and the camp shirt, and it's in a color that I felt like I was missing in my wardrobe. Step 4, add your wild cards. Step 4 is where your personality really shines. It's about joy, not rules. This is where you can really experiment and play, but in a thoughtful way. These are the pieces where you really get to experiment and just have fun. The requirements are they should make you smile, they should make you feel comfortable and confident. This is where you're taking calculated risks to evolve your wardrobe. Some of the pieces that I would choose as a wild card would be a bold printed coat like this, exaggerated silhouettes like an oversized collar or super wide leg pants, or shoes that are a pop of color. Wildcards are an expansion of your outfit formula. They can transform your basic outfit into something that feels a bit more exciting. One bold piece can change the entire outfit. And let me just say, wildcards are about expressing your personal style, not about following trends. It doesn't mean every trend that comes down the pipeline is something that you need to try. It's about picking and choosing what you feel like works for you and might be fun for you specifically, and maybe trying that or doing a twist on something that you know and love. So maybe you love wearing trousers and you only have solid pairs of trousers, so maybe you want to expand your wardrobe by trying a printed pair of trousers. It's about expanding your wardrobe by as little or as much as you feel comfortable. Step 5 is layer in your accessories. Step 5 is all about the details that make your outfit feel uniquely you. We all know that accessories are where you can experiment without a big investment. When I like to try a new accessory, I like to maybe buy a version of it and then test it out, see if I wear it, and then if it's something that feels in line with my personal style, I'll expand on that particular accessory. For example, I have a neck scarf. It's like a little cotton bandana, and I really like how it makes my outfits look and feel. So I'm thinking about buying a second one because I like how it's elevating and changing my outfit formulas that I know and love. Whereas when it comes to jewelry, I really rarely buy jewelry because I don't really change out my earrings. I don't wear a lot of necklaces. I have a handful. If I really love something, whether it's like a necklace or earrings, I will pick it up. I don't feel like I need a humongous collection. All of my jewelry is sitting right here, every jewelry piece that I own. So I just don't need to be buying a lot of earrings and necklaces because I just don't wear a ton. When it comes to hats though, I have a ton of hats because they are go-to for me in spring, summer, and in fall, winter. In spring, summer, I wear a lot of baseball caps. They're go-to when my hair is just not cooperating, and beanies are a style staple for me. If I'm going outside and it's cold, I will put on a beanie, and it's cold a lot of the time in the fall and winter. And then when it comes to bags, that is something that I had a massive collection of that I'm actually trying to reduce. I really love the look and feel of a handbag, but I really only reach for like 2 or 3 different handbags in my collection. So I have been working towards reducing that. So that is a space where I kind of had a lot in my previous life when I was working in my corporate job. And then when I stopped working my corporate job, I just wasn't needing a new fresh bag for every outfit. And so my needs are gonna change. And with that, my wardrobe needs to change too. When it comes to figuring out what accessories to focus on when you're doing your own wardrobe reset, I would try the accessories you have with multiple different outfits to see if what you already have is enough. And then if what you have is suitable for your lifestyle and your personal style. Different accessories can create different outfits. You can change the overall aesthetic of the outfit with different accessories. I would just see how your accessories are changing your outfit formulas and what you want more of and what you want less of in terms of those aesthetics. And then based on what you see yourself reaching for day after day, you can decide whether or not you feel like there's a gap. Just like with your clothing, when it comes to your accessories, you can say, oh, I wear my one baseball cap all the time. Let me see what happens if I add another baseball cap in a different color or with a graphic. But again, be very specific. Just like you are with your clothes, when it comes to adding an accessory, you want it to be really specific. With my neck scarf that I'm considering adding, the one that I have is cream with oranges and greens. So if I'm thinking about adding one, I would like it to also be a cotton material like that one is, but I would like the colors to be different. Maybe instead of 3 colors, I would like it to be 2 colors. And instead of it being a light color like that one, I would like it to be like a dark color like navy, because I think that that would add a lot of variation to my wardrobe and be doing something different than the one that I currently have. Those are all the tips that I have for you guys today. If you are thinking about doing a wardrobe reset, let me know what your favorite tip was. And if you learned anything new from this video, I would love to know. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I make videos all about personal style and being intentional within your wardrobe. So if you don't want to miss anything from me, make sure to subscribe. It really helps my channel. And if you enjoyed this, you might also like my video where I talk about how to create more outfits within your wardrobe without buying any new clothes. So I will link that here and see you guys in the next one. Bye!